What up, campers? This week we're talking about why we got rid of the hybrid and went over to the dark side. Let's go. One thing I did want to say though about the hybrids is that we love them. Hybrids are awesome trailers and it worked really well for us. We were coming from a pop-up and we had a vehicle that couldn't tow much weight, and we were also scared, honestly, about towing a big giant trailer. We had never done that before. The hybrid was a great transition step at the time. We're thinking, compared to our pop-up, this is all we'll ever need. But as you get more comfortable and your family gets bigger and older and your needs change and things like that, then it might make sense for you to make the move to the dark side. Just wanted to throw that out there. We still love the hybrids, and actually camping out here on the Kern River, when you have all those nice rushing river sounds, it really makes you miss those bunk ends when you could just lay in there and listen to the bunk ends. So again, still love the hybrids. It's just that based on where our family is at this particular point in time, we decided to make the jump. I know a lot of folks are angry with us that we got rid of the hybrid, but we really still love those things. And if I had all the money in the world, I'd have a hybrid and a bigger trailer, and maybe even like an overland rooftop tent too, just for all the different styles of camping that we like. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about why we went to the dark side. So we just want to lay out what the mindset is there to give everybody an idea of kind of what we have planned and why we went the route that we did. So one of the first reasons is storage. We tend to bring a lot of stuff with us, and when we had the hybrid, most of that stuff had to be inside, whether it was our camp chairs, our Blackstone, the bikes that we would always take. The kids love riding bikes, and so all of that stuff would be inside the trailer, and it was simply taking up a ton of space. This new trailer that we got has a humongous front storage. It also has a big closet in the master bedroom, and just the cabinets, the upper cabinets above the dinette and the couch, and the pantry area in the kitchen gives us a lot of options to put stuff, so that we virtually have nothing either in our truck or just laying loose in the trailer at this point. Which kind of brings me to my second point, which is on the setup time, right? So if you go and watch our hybrid pros and cons video up here, you'll see that we really didn't think that setup time is a big negative from the standpoint of a hybrid travel trailer. There is a bit of a setup in terms of putting the bunks down, folding the mattresses down, etc. But that really is a very short process. What makes it more of an issue was when we had all that stuff inside the trailer. So when we would show up at a campground, we not only had to do the bed setup and put down the jacks and all of that kind of stuff, then we had to lug the Blackstone out of there, lug the bikes out, pull the chairs off the dinette, set the dinette back up, just to even be able to get into where the beds were to fold down the beds for the hybrid. And up until about this year, we'd only been going to just one campground for 4 or 5 days in a row, staying there. And in those cases, the hybrid still works perfect. So if you just want to go to a state park for long weekends or holidays or whatever, sit there and then go home, hybrids still are going to work great for you. For us, we started doing more road tripping. One of my best friends is moving to Idaho. We obviously live in California, and so we're going to be doing a lot more kind of driving, stay overnight one night, maybe in a parking lot or just a quick campground, then move on to the next destination. If you watch our video from the 2018 winter road trip that we took, we did some traveling like that where we stayed with friends, then we went and stayed at a lake, went up to Idlewild, Joshua Tree. So we stayed all kinds of different places, only 1 or 2 nights max in each place. And in that case, kind of the moving all the stuff in and out and setup time became just a little bit more annoying. It wasn't a problem. It's not doable. We could have easily continued to do that in a hybrid, but just for the convenience factor, we decided to move into the travel trailer world. When it comes time to leave, I literally just hook up my truck, throw that little mat into the camper. The beds stay made, and that cuts down on both the pack down time, but then also set up when we leave. The beds are already made. A lot of our clothes are already in there, good to go. The dishes are all where they need to go. We don't store anything on the inside of the trailer except for clothes and bedding and dishes and whatnot. And so when we go next time, we literally just fill the fridge back up, throw a couple more clean clothes in there, and we can be on the road within 30 to 40 minutes. And that's a huge bonus for us. The next reason's kind of twofold, right? So it's both longevity, but also kids, or kind of that flip side of the same coin. But you know, our kids were totally fine to share a room, share a bed, even through Christmas of 2019, which is, you know, I'm filming this in the spring of 2019, but even through the beginning of this year, they seem somewhat fine with that. But as they've gotten older, they start to want their own space a little bit more. And so with the 2706 that we have, they each have their own bunk. They're double bunks, so they have a lot of space. If they want to bring friends, they can each bring a friend. But also it's something that's going to last us many years, because we're done having kids, obviously, and it has the 2 double bunks, and so we can fit up to 4 kids, and that should take us right through the teenage years. And so that was another big reason. Next reason we went to the dark side is just because we could. So when we first got the hybrid, we were coming from a pop-up camper that we would pull with our Toyota 4Runner, and we were looking for a trailer that we could continue to pull with that 4Runner, and so we were limited to something that was under 5,000 pounds. Again, that's really the sweet spot for these hybrids, something in the 5,000 to 6,000 pound range. There's a lot of options for hybrids where you still get those kind of modern conveniences that you might not get in a pop-up trailer. We started getting more wary about pulling that hybrid with the 4Runner on super long distances, and so just purely for the peace of mind, we upgraded to a 3/4 ton truck. And as we become more comfortable towing and going long distances, I'll be honest, for me, the hybrid was a really scary jump in terms of backing up the trailer and just driving a 24-foot trailer. But as I've gotten more comfortable towing, and as we have the vehicle to be able to do more towing, for us, this was just kind of a nice upgrade that was going to give us a bit more enjoyment for, you know, hopefully the next 5 to 8 years. Okay, next reason is in terms of the type of camping that we want to do. One of the cool things about the 2706 WS Rockwood that we have is just that there's so many tanks. And so along with doing more road tripping and going a little bit farther afield, not just kind of 2 hours from home, is that we want to do a lot more boondocking. The campgrounds are really adding up quick in terms of our pocketbook, but also just kind of getting out, doing our own thing, not being crammed into your neighbors in some of these so-called RV resorts. And we can bring our dogs, open the door, let them run free and do things like that. With our X23B, which we had before, and again, you can check out the tour of our X23B. It's a super cool hybrid. The one drawback, or one of the drawbacks, is that it had pretty small black and gray tanks and fresh water tanks, and so that severely limits how long you can be out boondocking. So we went and did some boondocking over the Christmas break in Joshua Tree, and 3 days into our boondocking trip, because again, we're a family of 4, we had full black and gray and had to go, you know, pick up camp and find somewhere to dump. And so we've more than doubled the amount of tank capacity that we have, and so this will enable us to do new exploring and new adventuring with new types of camping in boondocking and doing a lot more dry camping. All right, last reason that we went over to the dark side is so, and it kind of goes with the last point too, but is to do more extreme weather camping, both in terms of super hot and, more importantly, I think super cold. So over the Christmas break, we went and camped up in the snow, and more challenging in a hybrid with those bunk ends. We turtled one side, but the heater kind of still struggled to keep up. This new 2706 Rockwood that we have has a fully enclosed underbelly. It has heated tanks, and it doesn't have those canvas bunk ends, and so it's going to be a lot more manageable in those kind of below freezing conditions when we go out to Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and hopefully do a lot more stuff and not be limited by going only places where it wasn't too hot or too cold. So right now, as I film this, we're at River Nook out in Kernville, and it's been raining all day on Sunday. Or if you watch our video from San Antonio Lake, it was like pure rain and hail the whole time, and we wanted to be able to go out whenever we wanted, regardless of whether it was actually good weather, and just not necessarily do camping as kind of fun weekend thing, but have it be more of our kind of go-to thing that we do. Yeah, and on that same note, we're going camping in San Luis Obispo for the week over 4th of July at Lake Nacimiento. Highly recommend that place. We'll post a video on that when we get there, but it's going to be about 110 degrees out that whole week, and so when you're in the hybrid, even running the AC, I think it struggles to keep up when the weather is that hot. Whereas here, I think the AC is going to do a little bit better job of actually getting it down to like 80, 85 degrees, something that we could actually survive in when it's that hot out. So yeah, those are the 5 reasons, the 5 main reasons why we went over to the dark side. I know we've gotten a lot of emails and comments and people feeling betrayed that we jumped out of the hybrid game. It's not because we don't love hybrids. We absolutely loved our X23B. We took that for like a 3,000 miles total or something like that. We spent about 50 nights in our hybrid in 2018, so we got a lot of fun, a lot of memories out of that thing. And for us, this decision to go to the dark side isn't a function of anything about us not liking hybrids, but just us really taking that kind of next step in our camping journey. So don't abandon us. We got lots of cool stuff coming down the pike, but we'll go ahead and leave it there. I'm gonna shamelessly ask for you guys to click subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. And until then, we'll see you on the next adventure.
Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me.